All right, welcome everyone. Kind of the kickoff meeting of the Child Welfare Domestic Violence Liaisons. We've got some directors on here that are brand new, got some folks that have been here for a while, been doing some kind of domestic violence work in your local areas. So thank you guys for doing that. That's awesome. I'm hoping that this program goes well, that we can show the state and the world that this is something that we need. And you guys are going to play a part in that. So I'm excited to be a part of this. My name is Jody Sprayberry. I know I've talked to a lot of you either over the phone, through email, that kind of thing. So like I was saying earlier, putting those faces and those names together now and kind of getting to know everybody, I just think that's really cool. I'm excited to be a part of this. As I mentioned earlier, I said child support. That is where my background is. I've done a lot of child support stuff. I was part of getting policy and procedures in place for the child support division before I moved into this position. So new adventures await, and I'm super excited to be working with you guys. And we're going to take just a quick minute to let everybody introduce themselves. I'm going to go ahead. Darrell, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, give your intro, and then we'll jump to Valerie and Pierce and then go through the rest of our list.
Good morning, everyone, and I apologize for being late. I have had a week of back-to-back meetings, and I am sorry. I feel like I'm always rushing to catch up. My name is Darrell Junsutut. I know many of the people already on this call because I led RAP in West Tennessee for 10 years before joining SWORPS in September of 2022 as director. I am excited to see everyone here. I'm excited that SWORPS is providing the support, training, and technical assistance for this project. We're really excited about the Child Welfare Domestic Violence Partnership Project. As some of you may know, RAP, when I was the director of RAP, we piloted the first program. And I'm going to everyone, if you don't mind, yes, thank you, Debrisha. Keep yourselves, make sure you're on mute so that we can avoid background interference. But anyway, I'm very, very glad to be a part of this program. Excited to welcome agencies that are starting the program, and want you to know that Jody and I are here to help you through this process to implement the program and to achieve the best outcomes possible for the people with whom we work and the families they serve.
All right. Valerie, do you want to say hi, give your little introduction?
Yeah, I can absolutely do that. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, perfect. So my name is Valerie Seekley. I work for the Office of Criminal Justice Program. And let me go ahead and turn my camera on for you guys. Good morning. So I'm familiar with a lot of you guys as well. I work closely with most of you guys on the child welfare program that those of you guys who currently have it funded through OCJP. But I've worked with this program for since it started. So it started about in 2016, 2017, and started with some of the planning and implementation. At that point in time, I was working for the Tennessee Department of Children's Services, and I transitioned over to OCJP in June of 2020 and have worked with it from the OCJP side of things. But I'm very excited about this program. I think it's awesome. Like Darrell said, it started obviously with RAP in Madison County, and that implementation guide that Jody sent out this morning, a lot of those materials were developed by Darrell. So we're very excited to have her on, providing the technical assistance for the program, because she has a very unique perspective with this program. So we're very lucky and very fortunate to have her on board, and Jody as well. But I personally am just really excited about the growth the program has seen. I know there's been a lot of excitement about this program from the very beginning. from the DCS side and the OCJP side of things. And so I think we're just at a very exciting point in time with the enhancement and the growth and the support and being able to add the additional sites across the state. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to have you guys here this morning, and I can't wait to talk more with you guys about it.
Hey, super excited. Thank you for that. Pierce, did you want to say anything?
Sure. And unfortunately, some of you may see the little box up at the top. My audio is completely destroyed on this tablet. So I'm multi-screening, devising this morning. My name is Pierce Beckham. I've been with the Department of Children's Services since 2007. Got a little bit of feedback. So my role, I came up through CPS working child abuse and neglect cases.
I would
Even
say
before did full response. I've shifted over actually through the pandemic into operations. So I'm now our deputy chief of staff. I oversee a lot of different functions, but one of them is to ensure that the different offices have the support and the resources to implement the strategies that they need. And one of the things that we have been very excited about and seeing great work being done is the domestic violence liaison program. And when we, like OCJP, saw that the VOCA cuts were coming, quickly got together to strategize around how to ensure that the program survived and also expanded. So if you took the time to look at our budget presentation or want to go online, you'll notice that it is a specific line item that we are asking for recurring funds. We have a pot of money that is recurring already that we have dedicated to this, but we think that it is important enough that we present to the governor and get the General Assembly to have dedicated funds year after year to support this program. So glad to have everybody on board. I'm going to try to minimize any of my technology issues by turning off the camera and maybe going to one device, but I'll be listening in. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. So I'm just going to start at the top of the list. So I apologize if you are alphabetically higher in the alphabet because you'll be the first ones to speak. So we'll just start with Becky. Becky, if you just want to say hi, tell us where you're from, what you're doing, and we'll just go down the list.
Hi, I'm Becky Stevens, and I work for the Hope Center here in Athens, Tennessee, McMinn County. And I've worked in domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse for about 7 years. I'm super excited about this program, bringing all of those things together and being able to represent our families. So thank you guys very much. I'm excited.
All right, super. Debrecia.
Yes, my name is Debrecia Bell, and I'm work with the YWCA as a victim advocate and liaison to DCS. I'm fairly new to the role. Only been in the role maybe about 6 months. I've been with the Y for 2 years, but new to this role about 6 months. So
Awesome.
trying to figure things out.
All right. Well, good to have you on board. All right, Deja.
Hi, everyone. My name is Deja Parker, and I work with the YWCA. I am the Anderson County Domestic Violence DCS Liaison.
All right. And then whoever DVDCS is.
Hi, I'm Ebony Ogden. I am based out of Rutherford County with the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Center. I am the liaison in the area.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's see, we've got Hannah.
Hey, good morning, y'all. My name is Hannah Oliver. I am the Assistant Director of Victim Support Services here at Partnership in Chattanooga. I've been in Partnership for a little over a couple of years now, and Lauren, who is on the call, is our DCS liaison currently. I've had the honor and privilege of supervising her since she's been with us, and she's done some great work. So we are really grateful for this position. I will admit that right now I'm waiting on a pest control exterminator person to show up to our crisis center soon. So I'm going to keep my camera off because I might have to jump off, but glad to be here.
All right. Thank you. All right. Justice.
I apologize. I need to change that. I'm the so Justice was the DCS liaison for RAP.
Okay.
And now we have two new ones. So my name is Nikki Simcoe,
Okay.
and I will be the Northwest. And Rachel Kynard will be the Southwest. And then I'll have Madison County, so Northwest and Madison County. I've been at RAP for in August will complete my 10th year. So I've worked with domestic violence victims, a little bit with sexual assault, but know Darrell very well. And I'm excited for this program. I'm excited for the possibilities and for building the partnership and reaching everybody that we can reach that needs our assistance. So this is just great.
All right. Super. Thank you so much. All right. Kelly.
I'm Kelly Weber May. I'm with the Hope Center, 10th Judicial District Children's Advocacy Center. So we're a little special in that we have the domestic violence for McMinn and Meigs County, as well as the adult sexual assault, and as well as the 10th Judicial District Children's Advocacy Center. So we cover Bradley, Polk, McMinn, and Monroe County. So we're just a little unique in that we get to bring it all together. And so we are really excited about this position because it just fits in our wheelhouse. And so Becky is actually our going to be our liaison, and I am super excited. She started out at the Children's Advocacy Center, and she has worked through the domestic violence shelter and the sexual assault center. So she has gotten all of it. And so we feel like that this is just going to kind of be bringing it home for us. So we're
All
excited.
right. Super. All right, Christy.
Hi, I'm Christy Stubblefield with Families in Crisis. I've been with Families in Crisis for about 15 years, and I have Arenda with me, and she's going to be the DCS liaison for Families in Crisis, and we're just really excited to get this started and be able to provide, some outreach and some training and collaborate with DCS. Arenda's been with us before, and her background is in child advocacy and our outreach program. So we're excited to get her started in this and kind of see where she can take it.
All right. Super. And hello. Looks like LaToya is next.
Good morning, everyone. My name is LaToya Shepherd. I am the Director of Victim Services at the YWCA Knoxville and Tennessee Valley. Debrisha and Deja are our DCS liaisons for Knox, Anderson, Rowan, and Loudoun counties. I'm excited to be on this call this morning.
All right. Lauren.
Good morning. I'm Lauren Barksdale. I'm the DCSDV liaison at Partnership. You heard from Hannah Oliver, my supervisor. She's amazing. I'm here with my intern, Kristen, and I've been here for about a year.
All right. Nice to meet you guys. All right. Linda.
I'm Linda Crockett, and I'm the founder and executive director of Bridges Domestic Violence Center in Williamson County, and this is our 25th year.
Oh, wow. Okay. Liz?
Hi, my name is Liz White, and I am currently victim educator and assistant program manager at Family Services Center in Campbell County and Claiborne County, Tennessee. And I will be transitioning to the liaison position very soon. I'm very excited about it.
Fantastic. Thank you. Mackenzie?
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Adkins. I'm the executive director at the Scott County Shelter Society. I've only been here since July, so I'm new to this position. I used to work at the Campbell County CAC as a forensic interviewer there, where I covered Campbell, Claiborne, and Union. So I'm very familiar with the DCS and that system and learning the DV side of things. I'm really excited to get this program started for us in Scott County.
All right. Super. Mary?
Hi, my name is Mary. I am currently the shelter advocate manager at the Harbor Safe House here in Cleveland, Tennessee, which is Bradley County. And I will be shortly transitioning into the DCS liaison role soon.
All right. All right. Next, looks like it's Nancy.
Hello, I am the liaison for Hickman, Dixon, Humphreys, Perry, and Lewis counties. I've been in the role for a while, and I am asking Miss Jody if you will just send me or send us all a link telling what counties are being served by a liaison. That would be wonderful. They always asking all the trainings, and looks like we got a lot of new people coming aboard. So
we do. Yes, we do.
I'm excited.
All right. Thank you. All right, we've got Pierce already. So Rachel.
I'm one of the new domestic violence DCS liaisons for RAP. I work out of the Southwest region.
All right.
And I've been with RAP since like May. So pretty new still.
Pretty new. All right. Yeah. Good deal. Well, we're just all going to learn and grow together. So that's great. Stephanie.
Good morning. My name is Stephanie Burridge. I am the CEO of the YWCA Knoxville in Tennessee Valley. We've had this program for a few years, which has been really exciting, but I'm relatively new to my role as the CEO. So I thought it would be a good time to jump on and see how it's going to transition next year as you guys take over, but just excited to continue to be a part of this program.
All right. Glad to have you along. All right, Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan Crocco and I'm with Home Safe. I'm the new executive director and I've been with Home Safe for 22 years and we're really excited about starting this program.
All right. And then we've got Suzanne.
Hello, I'm Suzanne Wimberly and I'm director at Harbor Safe House and Advocacy Center. We serve Bradley and Polk and we're brand new to this program and we're excited to be here.
All right, fantastic. I think I got everybody. Did I leave anybody out?
Yep, me.
Yes.
Hi, Tina.
Hello. There might have been somebody else that said that too, but I'll go ahead and go. I am Tina Johnson. I am the Director of Victim Services for Frontier Health Safe House, and we provide two domestic violence shelters and a sexual assault program in Washington, Sullivan, and Carter County. And we're just getting started. I'm trying very hard to find the exact right person for this position, but I'm so excited. I feel like this is the missing piece that we have not had in our services, and it's really going to help our families. So thank you, and I'm excited to get this started.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Was there anybody else? I don't want to leave anybody out.
Mamie.
Yeah.
Mamie, yes.
I'm coming, Darl. Here I go. Good morning. I'm Mamie Hutcherson. I'm the executive director of RAP. Came in behind Darl. Know her very well. We are excited to still be a part of this program and glad to meet all of you. Very excited.
All right. Super. Fantastic. All right. So I think we got everybody taken care of on that. And I said earlier, I did go ahead on the invite and add in the most recent copy of that implementation guide. So if you didn't have it or you had an older copy, what's out there on the invite is the most current one. And we're going to take just a minute and look through that. And give me just 1 second. I am trying to find where to share. Oh my goodness.
Jody, it's the share screen button.
I see it. Thank you for that. All right, so you guys should be seeing that now. The Child Welfare Domestic Violence Liaison Project Implementation Guide. So of course, table of contents. Starting out, we've got the mission, the introduction, and kind of the process of what we're going to be doing. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time reading all of that. You guys will have that. The main things I want to focus on is getting the program up and going for those that are brand new. I know some of you all have been doing this for a while, so this is not new information for you all. I'm going to scroll down here to the
Jody,
program design. Yes.
Jody, if I can just jump in, even if you've been doing it for a while, sometimes you want to just check and make sure, sort of look at the implementation guide and take the opportunity to maybe do a reset. Have you implemented the program in the way that it was intended to be implemented? Sometimes we implement and then we've been doing it a while and we shift. So do review that implementation guide, even if you've been doing it a while, just to make sure that in actually implementing the program, you are sort of including the elements that were intended to be included. And if there are pieces of this as you review it on your own that you have questions about, please reach out to Jody and me, because we can help sort of schedule time where we talk about any part of this that you may want to talk about in more depth. Today it's just Jody wants to make sure that you do open it up and you do sort of really look at this, because this is sort of what we're going to be looking at in terms of longer term. What we want to be able to do is work together with all of the sites to be able to gather information that we need to support this as an evidence-informed practice that really does do good things for children and families who are at the intersection of child welfare and domestic violence. Key to that, though, is that we are all implementing the program in a consistent manner. And that's where this guide can be helpful. So I think it would be helpful for everyone, whether you're new or old, to just really review it, and anything in the guide about which you have questions, please feel free to reach out so that we can talk about that agency to agency.
Yes. Thank you, Darryl. So of course, the process, we'll kind of start there. The liaison that's employed by this program is going to be co-located. You're going to be providing coaching with the domestic violence informed practice. You're going to provide support to those DCS professionals. That could be training, coaching, anything along that line. Just giving general guidance, help identifying strengths in your victims, and then assist in developing strategies. We want to hold those perpetrators accountable for their actions. So what are the best practices in that area? And of course, we've got some goals here that we want to meet. Increasing knowledge, increasing capacity. We want to increase understanding how we intervene with that perpetrator's coercive, violent behavior. Identify and assess domestic violence, making sure that we're doing that correctly. We want to increase the capacity to engage with the non-offending parent and the child survivors of that situation, as well as the perpetrator. We want to increase understanding of those legal constraints and the requirements that impact these families as well. Identify steps for the adult and child survivor on their strengths using a trauma-informed approach and a domestic violence-informed manner when we're dealing with these families. We want to develop the skill in identifying concrete steps for holding those perpetrators accountable. And then the end goal, I guess, is that families are going to benefit from this coordinated effort, having everybody working together, all the agencies working together, so that we can provide these services to these families.
So, Miss Jody, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Jump in there. Okay, so a lot of it beams on us making the perpetrator accountable for his actions. And that's the problem that DCS is having, because the program is not there yet to engage these perpetrators. And as they're trying to engage, they don't have nothing to give them to go to, because Veterans Interventions Program, DCS doesn't pay for those. So, you know, until we get that Caring Dads program in place, it's like they're at a standstill. We're at a standstill, and we're just implementing a program without a, and in a lot of my trainings, they go, what are we supposed to do?
Nancy?
Yes.
Yeah, Nancy, absolutely hear that. And one of the things that what I can tell you is Caring Dads is coming. So the training has gone out statewide. And there are already providers for it is coming. So Caring Dads is coming. But when we talk about perpetrator accountability, we are talking about holding perpetrators accountable for the safety, stability, and well-being of their families. And we can do that without sending them. We can develop strategies for having them do that has nothing to do with services. And so an example would be, let's say it's that we're talking about the person who is actually the biological father of the children in the home. And so dad has been asked to leave. There's an order of protection, dad has to leave the home. And so dad agrees he is going to abide by that order of protection. But in leaving the home, dad is also going to leave the transportation. If he has the only car that the family needs, he's going to leave the car for that family, and he's going to work out transportation for himself, because mom is going to need that car to get the children to and from school, or to doctor's appointments, or to go get food for the family. There are different sorts of strategies that can be put into a permanency plan that hold dad accountable for the safety and stability of the family. If dad has the only income, until a parenting agreement and child support arrangements can be made out, is dad willing to deposit a certain amount of money in a bank account for mom to have access to? Is dad willing to do? What are the things that dad, when we get together for a permanency planning session, dad is willing to do that will ensure the safety, the permanency, and the stability and the well-being of the children that he is leaving behind, but his abuse has created chaos for? So we're going to be providing part of the training that we get, that you'll be having coming up, will be training that is designed to go through some of these things, to provide you with strategies for working with DCS direct service professionals around providing, it's not just a service, right? There are specific steps that as a parent we do to make sure our children are safe, and to make sure that abiding by that even if there isn't an order of protection yet, right? Dad agreeing to stay away from the home, right? And putting that in writing. He agrees to stay away from the home, or to not harass mom in phone calls, right? But what are the activities and the behaviors that dad is willing to engage in that will promote the safety, the stability, and the well-being of his family. So there are ways to do that, and that is part of what the training will be designed to do. And I see Pierce has his hand up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while we are waiting on Caring Dads to fully get up and running, that was a middle piece. That was something that we saw that was definitely lacking, that parental accountability within intimate partner violence. We have expanded. So you all have received the a grant, the contract, when it comes to the liaison position, and component of that is direct service provision. But above and beyond that, we have a delegated authority, and Daryl and I have communicated a little bit around that. It's a very quick application process, in addition to that you can use for families that maybe you may have reached capacity with it as a liaison and you're still working with families, or you stabilized to a point and it's you're passing them off to one of your colleagues within the agency. You can still get DCS funding and reimbursement for those services. And one of the things that we did, knowing that it has been a gap in the past, is we are paying for batterers intervention programming. That is in that delegated authority. Now, I know that there may be some availability and capacity issues in your area, but that is something that we will pay for through that delegated authority. Your DCS people may not know that. With all the things that we throw at them at any given time, they may have missed it or been focused on something else. But we knew that, it bothered me as a case manager and a supervisor, going, what do you mean the only thing we've got listed as anger management? That does us no good in this space. So Caring Dads is that kind of, I see it as that missing gap in between, where we are really focused on that batterer, that aggressor in their family capacity. But we definitely went ahead and said, we just need them to have this established batterers intervention programming available to them, and that we will put our money behind that. So, and maybe after this, Jody or Daryl can share that delegated authority application and info link. It is very simple, much easier than some of the other things that we go through. And we already have your W-9s, so that's all good. That's usually one of the big headaches, is getting everybody set up to get paid. So look into that as an option, and you don't have to wait for anybody. You can access the programs that are already established in your communities.
Thank you very much, Pierce. That is, I was not aware that DCS would also pay for batterers intervention now, so that's really good news. But I want to underscore again, the absence of a service doesn't mean that nothing can be done. Just as we hold mom accountable for certain things that we expect mom to do that don't necessarily, we expect her, if she's got custody of the kids, to to make sure they've got clothes to wear, to make sure they get to school, to make sure, well, why should dad be let off the hook for those things as well, right? So what is his contribution to that? And it's important. It's not, we shouldn't have a double standard. Expect one set of things for mom and then something completely different for dad. He has that responsibility too, but we'll talk about that more, about what those other strategies are in the absence of, specific services that you think would be particular in your area, that would be particularly helpful for dad.
All right. Good information. Thank you for that.
I have a question, Jody. I have a question. Okay, so I'm hearing everybody saying have services for the dads, but from what we were told, we can't deal with the perpetrator at all. We can't have no contact. Or is that changing, or is that hearsay, or?
That's hearsay.
Yeah.
No, and this is one of the things, because there may be some VOCA issues that are involved with the programs that are paid through VOCA. DCS does not have that same restriction. I will say, though, that if your agency philosophically is focused on the survivor and the children rather than interfacing directly with the batterer and the aggressor, that we're not pushing you to go outside of what your agency's mission is. So like with the Child Advocacy Center world, they will not allow perpetrators on site. So we will have our child and family team meetings because we are holding them accountable at another location. So if part of your world and work is we want a completely safe space for the survivors of intimate partner violence, we don't want anybody that has displayed aggressive behaviors at a location, we're not going to force you to bring them on site. We will work with you and need to strategize in that on that family situation, how best to have meetings, hold that person accountable, etc.
Yeah. And I was just going to add, Debricia, because I know we've talked about this a little bit, but with what Pierce was just saying, there are VOCA regulations that to be eligible under the VOCA funding, they have to be a victim of crime. The perpetrator would obviously not fit that mold and that model. But what we're talking about here is a lot of like conversation, training, coaching, support that you can do with the DCS staff about engaging the batterer and the perpetrator and identifying the patterns of coercive control. So I'm not under the VOCA funding, like the direct conversations with the perpetrator wouldn't necessarily be something that would be allowable. Now with the transition, once the programs do go to DCS funding, that's obviously going to be lifted. So that's something to keep in mind. And that's kind of where this program is right now in a state of transition with some of the programs being VOCA funded and some being DCS state funded. But there is a piece of this program within even the VOCA guidelines and regulations that you guys can do with the batter, but it's mostly focused on the DCS staff and engaging the DCS staff and helping them kind of navigate some of the patterns of coercive control that aren't necessarily going to jump out to the DCS child welfare frontline staff, but would jump out to you as domestic violence experts.
And again, Valerie, I think some of this, a lot of people who are gathered here today have not had the Safe and Together training, which is the model upon which this program was initially based. It has shifted a bit for sort of reasons we'll talk about later, but Safe and Together, the Safe and Together continues to provide be part of the conceptual framework for this program. And you will, and the training that we'll be providing, learn more about that and about how that actually works. So as Valerie just said, you know, you don't have to deal yourself directly with the perpetrator in order to coach a worker who is going to be developing a permanency plan around, you know, how can you hold dad be accountable for his behaviors that promote the safety, the stability, and the well-being of his family when you're developing that plan. What kind of specific behaviors could you suggest that dad consider agreeing to do when you have that child and family team meeting? So it's more about that indirect intervention rather than direct intervention with the perpetrator.
All right. And Deja asked in the chat, is the Safe and Together training offered to us? And I think you touched on that a little bit, Darrell.
Yes. While I can't provide you, we will talk again. That's something we will talk about. Yes, the answer is yes. I will be providing you with, I'm a certified trainer, or was a certified trainer. I've been well trained in that model and will be taking you through the key components of that model, those that you need to know. We will be doing that together. So all new agencies will be invited, and agencies who participated a while, who have liaisons who want to go through this training, I strongly encourage you to do that. It will be a time for you to ask questions like this, for us to talk about what you do in your actual practice. That's what it's for. But in addition to that, your agency can always access that information, the Safe and Together modules. They're available online, and I'll ask Jody to send that information to you via email following this. So if you want to explore that more, you can sign up and take classes. They're $50. I don't know if training has been built into your budgets for your program, but if it has, again, it's not that expensive, but we will be providing you with training on a number of those things. And for those of you who are new in the onboarding, you have several video clips, the onboarding and pre-service materials that Jody sent to you. If you have been with the program for a while and you'd like for Jody to send those to you, just send her an email and she's happy to send that to you as well. But it provides links that will give you some overview of Safe and Together, along with some other important things.
I did attach it to the invite along with the implementation guide. It looks like this when you open it up. So if you don't have it, let me know and I'll send it to you directly. All right, so back on this, I just scrolled down a little from where we were talking about the goals. The next step is the program design. And you'll notice that you have your specific role, things that you're going to be doing, providing that ongoing coaching and training, giving that support to your DCS staff, developing plans to help strengthen that communication between those agencies. And then, of course, it breaks also into the DCS case manager role, the role of SWORPS, which that's going to be me and Darrell, DCS leadership, what their role is in everything, the domestic violence program leadership, and then, of course, OCJP's role. So everybody it's broken down so you know who's responsible for what components. The next section is your site implementation timeline. So those of you that are brand new starting this out, these are some things that you want to make sure that you have in place. We're working on getting all of these forms together so that we have samples that you can look at. So you've got your domestic violence program, what you're responsible for, local DCS, and what SWORPS is responsible for. And this is going to be within the first 1 to 4 months. And like Darrell said earlier, if you're already in the program, you've already been doing this is something that you may want to look back on and make sure that you do have this information available. We've got the month 5 to 7. So just some more guidelines in that process for you. Again, those are broken out into different sections, who's responsible for which component. Month 7 through 9, program implementation and development. Again, more steps broken out in the roles. Months 9 through 12 and even beyond, kind of making sure that we're still moving that project forward, still meeting the goals, still meeting all those things that we want to meet so that we can keep this program up and going. If you scroll on down, there's a program evaluation. So there's some qualitative and quantitative information in there for you as well. So some things that you can look at that are measurable in the program. The training requirements, again, I did go ahead and attach that into the invite that has some training material, reading material, videos, things like that in there to help you as you're moving forward, especially if you're one of the newer programs. Collaboration events, we'll talk more about that a little more in depth as we get underway and get those moving and in progress. Trainings provided by Child Welfare Domestic Violence Liaison. There's a little snippet of information there for you. Hotline referrals is in there as well. Supporting evidence and research. So these are some things that have already been documented that are really important to our program, and making sure that our program can help hopefully reduce some of those domestic violence numbers. Then there's some protocols that are in there for you as well. And just like Darrell said, just, take a few minutes and kind of go through this. There's also some sample forms in there for you as well. So just take some time and go through this. If you've got questions, reach out, let us know. Like Darrell said, we can schedule time, we can meet with you, walk you through anything that you have questions on or need assistance with. Darrell, did you want to talk to them about like the training that's coming up?
We're going to have 3 trainings. I'm not sure if Jody has sent you the invitations yet. If she hasn't, she will be sending those today, if she hasn't already sent them. But we have 3 trainings scheduled. They will be recorded. So if you are not available on the day that the training is offered, you will be able to watch the recorded version. And I will probably have a second set, just because it's one thing watching a training that has been recorded, because these trainings I want to be very interactive. And it's not always possible, particularly at this time of year with so many people starting and very different schedules, to get everybody all together at the same time. So I may offer at least 2 of each to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to join at least one of them. And then we will record at least one of them as well. The first one is going to be more of just an overview and to talk about some of these things that Jody has highlighted today regarding implementation and sort of the purpose of the program and your role in the program, and to make sure that we are all, again, starting on the same page about what that is and what it looks like. And then we are going to have an additional 2 training sessions that will take us through, again, an overview, it's more than an overview, but a more in-depth look at the conceptual framework that supports the work that we're doing. And we'll look at sort of what your practice model is, what it is. When we started, the practice model for the program, the theory of change, was informed solely by the Safe and Together model. But because the department has had to move away from that, again, for reasons we'll discuss later, we still want Safe and Together. It is still very much an important part of our practice model, but so is sort of a protective factors framework as well for survivors of intimate partner violence. So, as well as a trauma-informed approach to working with survivors and their families who are at the intersection of child welfare and intimate and domestic violence. So we'll be looking at in more depth at sort of what are those theoretical models that support the work that we do, that inform the work that we do, that we will be doing with DCS direct service professionals and their supervisors in coaching and supporting them to work ever more effectively with survivors of domestic violence and their families who are also child welfare involved. Questions about that? Concerns? Okay.
I have a question, Daryl, real quick.
Yeah, Nancy.
Okay, so I was just looking down at the forms and the training provided by the child welfare. It's saying that we should have that DCS training roster 0598. So when we do trainings, we're usually doing it with DCS personnel, and they usually, that's the form they have, right? So we don't have to worry about that.
Right. If it's a DCS initiated training, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those who are new, also with respect to training, I've talked about the training that's coming up in December. But I have talked with Rebecca, and I have asked that she work with me so that we're able to get everyone who's new to the program, who has not yet had DCS pre-service training, to get sort of an abbreviated form of that training in January. So know that whenever Rebecca's on leave right now, but as soon as she gets back, or in the interim, I'll be working with maybe Pierce to identify someone who can help us get that set up for everyone who's new, so that we get that done in January. Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I'm very new to the program. I just signed my contract like 2 days ago. And I got those job descriptions and all that. So with that, do I need to go ahead and be posting that job? Do I need to wait for the training in January?
Posting the position, you mean?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead and post for the position.
Okay.
And if you need help in sort of thinking about that, or in terms of what you, feel free to reach out to me, Mackenzie.
Okay. Thank you, Daryl.
You're welcome.
All right.
Is there a training on invoicing what is required? I haven't planned a training on invoicing is what is what is required, but one of the things that we can do, if there is a if you would like for us to do that, I am happy to get that set up for you. Or if people already know what they are going to do, and you don't, I'll set it up. And if you want to attend, feel free. If you already know what to do, don't worry about it.
All right. Good
You're
stuff.
welcome. You're welcome, Linda.
Any other questions, comments, concerns, thoughts?
Hey y'all, I am back. I had a couple questions. I'm so sorry. If any of y'all are working in a shelter program, y'all know about the fire drill chaos, the burnt sausage, pauses our whole day. So I apologize. These may have already been answered questions. So again, I'm sorry, but a couple things. So one thing that we run into sometimes, because I understood from what was presented that, as far as direct client service goes for the liaison, it's more of a warm transfer, initial resource meeting, assessment, and then transfer into services. Sometimes we experience, referrals that may come from DCS where there's a specific request to provide in-depth housing services, etc. And again, we just kind of communicate that there is a boundary as far as the in-depth case management that a liaison is expected to do. But I wanted to clarify and make sure that that is the expectation and that we aren't not taking steps we need to.
Right. Your primary role is not direct service. That represents about 25%, and it's usually assessment, attending CFTMs, right? And even when you attend a CFTM, it's not so much to provide a direct service as it is to observe how those are working, right? And how a worker is balancing sort of her attention on sort of what behaviors mom needs to do versus what and services versus what behaviors and services are expected of dad, right? Awesome. So yeah. Cool. So your role is primary role is as coach, trainer, supporter, but also again that liaison, which means you may sort of help with assessments, right, to support the worker in understanding sort of what controlling coercive behaviors actually look like, how to assess for those, and then providing that warm transfer to an advocate within your agency who actually provides the direct service if that's something that the family wants, the survivor says that she or he wants. Yeah.
Awesome. That is super helpful clarification. Thank you, Daryl. The only other thing I had, and I don't know if anyone else runs into this for those that, have had existing liaison positions, we offer free counseling services here at VSS for survivors. And there may often be times where, of course, DCS, based on a required parenting plan, requires a non-offending parent to attend counseling services. Of course, being a victim service provider, we follow a voluntary services model, however, which means that if someone's not interested, we are not going to be coercive in trying to, get them connected. Sometimes we've had a little bit of brief pushback from the referring agency just saying, well, hey, it's required. But we're on the other end saying, hey, we totally understand, but this is out of our court just because we do not require services. Again, just wanted to communicate that in case anyone else has similar experiences. Wanted to make sure we're doing the right thing. Never don't want to be a partner, but at the same time, we always want to avoid trying to be coercive or telling a client what they should do or need to do. So that's kind of just a little bit of problem that we've had. I didn't know if anyone else has experienced that or had any insight.
I can tell you that when I was at RAP, that came up from time to time. And so, but here, we are partnering, and part of those collaborative events are opportunities to bring DCS and DCS professionals and DV professionals in the region together when it's possible to do so, whether you do that, whether the collaborative event is attending a team meeting, so that you can explain sort of, right, as the liaison, you're able to sort of get 5 minutes on team leaders meetings throughout that in any county that you serve. Ask that team leader, can you give me 5 minutes on your agenda? First of all, just to let them become aware that, you know, I'm here, but also to let them know sort of where the boundaries are.
Yeah.
But even with those boundaries, if counseling is being required, and I'm talking to the survivor about that, I see DCS is requiring that you get counseling. How are you feeling about that? Is this something you'd like me to support you in or to help you with? You know, would you like for me to recommend? We don't really recommend, but would you like for me, if there's someone you are interested in seeing or with the community-based mental health, I'm happy to get West Tennessee, because there's such resistance among survivors to they're like, I'm not crazy, and not understanding sort of how they can be supported through the community-based mental health. We worked with our local community-based mental health center to get sort of a navigator that was dedicated to people we would send to them, so we could do a very warm transfer. They knew exactly sort of what kind of trauma-informed support was needed, and it worked out much better. The rate of people who would actually access those services increased. So sometimes that means, as a provider, just to do the best we can for our survivors, our work with our community-based mental health providers to talk about what our issues are, you know, the reluctance of people to actually get service from them, and how can we work together to address that, can yield some really good solutions that will also benefit you when you get these referrals, when the people with whom you work are being required by, you know, like DCS to get these services. So
Gotcha. Awesome. Cool. That's helpful. Thank you.
anyone else? We are approaching the end of our time. These are great questions. And I hope you know that, you know, all of your questions are important, and we want to make sure we talk about these, because it's through this kind of interaction that we all sort of keep track of where we are and make sure that we understand fully what our role is and how we can best implement that in the all counties and regions are different. They're all supposed to be functioning in the same way, but they don't. Culture's different, people are different. It feels and looks different often. But even with those differences, we want to maintain a core approach. We want to stay true to what our conceptual framework is, right? To the values and the principles of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And I just want to make sure we're all on the same page about what those are. And we all feel comfortable about that, because we are going through a transition. And so that can feel uncomfortable. Know that the heart of the program is not changing. What it is and what you've been doing should not change. I see Debricia sort of going, oh, really? You get that? We'll talk about that though, right? So I want you to know that we're your go-to person. We're the people that are here for you, to support you, and to answer any questions that you have about the program and about your role, your responsibility, and about difficulties you may be having, right? To help you sort of address those. That is our responsibility, to support you, to make sure you are doing the very best that you can do for the families at the intersection of domestic violence and child welfare in your community and in the communities you serve. Thank you all so much for joining today. I'm going to let Jody bring this to a close.
All right. Well, like Darryl said, I'm so glad that I got to meet everybody today, see everybody, kind of get to know you. Again, if you've got questions, concerns, whatever, just reach out to us and I will be in contact. So you guys are free to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, hey y'all, it's nice to see you.